In the top stories, thousands of public sector workers stage a protest march. Trade unions get the support of the Barbados Labour Party, and Rendezvous and BDFSP to face off in the Banks Champions Cup. Welcome to Nation News from Monday, July 6, 2015. I'm Natasha Beckles. An estimated 5,000 public workers took to the streets on Monday in protest of what trade unions say is disrespect for workers by both the public and private sectors. Barbados Workers Union General Secretary Tony Moore said the early retirement of 13 BIDC workers was the straw that broke the camel's back. However, she made it clear that it was not the sole reason for the march. The protest, which was organized by the National Union of Public Workers, started at Queen's Park and traveled through the city before ending at the union's Dalkeith headquarters. Speaking at the start of the protest, NUPW President Akani McDowell said he was pleased with the turnout.
I think that people in society have recognized that workers have a voice and they need to be part of any demonstration that speaks to that. And this is just an example of how caring the society is, how together our society is, and how willing we are to do what we have to do to ensure that change is done once that change is in positive.
Some form of industrial action is expected to continue tomorrow, but no details have been given. And the march received the support of the Barbados Labour Party and political activist David Commissiong. Opposition leader Mia Motley said government has to sit up and take notice of the action. She charged that the Frundell-Stewart administration does not care about the people, and it was inevitable that residents would eventually respond. Meantime, Mr. Commissiong told the media today's strike was necessary since government has broken several promises.
This government was re-elected in 2013 on the basis of promises given to the people of Barbados that if they were re-elected, that the jobs of public service workers would be secure. That if they were re-elected, that unlike the Barbados Labour Party, they would preserve the social welfare benefits of the Barbadian people, whether it be free bus rides or free tertiary education. Having won the election on those promises, they immediately did just the opposite, dismissing thousands of public workers and beginning to dismantle the system of free tertiary education.
Minister of Labour Senator Dr. Esther Bayer says it appears the NUPW simply wanted to show it has the ability to call a strike. She told the media she respects workers' right to protest, but the union had not exhausted all available outlets for consultation. She said no one approached her office, the Labour Department, or the Chief Labour Officer before making the decision to demonstrate. The Royal Barbados Police Force has been thrown into mourning following the suspected suicide of one of its own. Constable Philip Graves, who was attached to the K9 unit, was found hanging in his work hall St. Philip home around 12:30 p.m. on Sunday. Several members of the force arrived on the scene to lend support to Mr. Graves' relatives and colleagues. Neighbors spoke fondly of the policeman who was in the force for about 13 years. Prime Minister Frundell-Stewart says the mechanisms governing free movement within CARICOM have been working reasonably well. He made the comments as the CARICOM Heads of Government Summit came to a close.
The free movement mechanisms have been working quite satisfactorily as far as I'm aware. I have a lead responsibility for the Caribbean Single Market and Economy in the CARICOM quasi-cabinet. And I have not been receiving any complaints from any quarter that there are any difficulties in people moving from one country to the other across the Caribbean. Now, the right to free movement does not mean that border officials have surrendered their duty to the countries in which they discharge those duties to protect and to promote the country's security. So from time to time, they have to deny persons who might be a threat to the national security or who might, as a result of some other kind of disability, not be eligible for entry.
Defending champions Renan and Sammy G will now join the fray for the Scotiabank Junior Calypso Monarch contest. During the draw on Monday at Scotiabank Haggett Hall, Renan picked number 5 in the 8 to 12 age group, while Sammy G will be going last at number 9 among the 13 to 18s. The 8 finalists in each group were chosen on Saturday night at the Leicester Vaughan School. You can see the full list on our website, nationnews.com. In sport, a new champion will be crowned in the Banks Champions Cup. On Sunday in football action, defending champions Weymouth Wales were beaten 4-1 after scoring first against Rendezvous. In the other semi-final, Barbados Defence Force Sports Programme edged UWI 1-0. The final will be played on Sunday at the Wildy AstroTurf. And finally, a South Dakota centenarian is not just taking part in this year's National Senior Games, he's going for gold. John Zilverberg, who will be 102 next month, is the oldest athlete in the competition, and he's taking part in discus, shot put, javelin, and softball throw events. Mr. Zilverberg says he took part in his first Senior Games in 1985. He says he can't do any running and jumping events because one of his legs gave out, but he exercises to keep his arms in shape. And that's where we end Nation News for Monday. For more, log on to nationnews.com as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your Daily Nation on Tuesday or subscribe to our e-paper. Thank you so much for joining us.